Hi, I'm Daniel Lucas, and welcome to Geography 101. Geography 101 are the places that I visited from Europe, Caribbean, and many more. And today I have my special guest. She is a leadership expert, author, and certified executive coach, no other than Miss Traycee Mayer.
Hey, great to see you again, Daniel. It's wonderful to be back with you.
Yes, and Miss Traycee, can you please introduce more about yourself?
Absolutely. I am thrilled to have been in different leadership roles in hospitality and facility and venue management for almost 45 years. I'm a certified executive coach, and my absolute most favorite thing is to help develop leaders and to lift them up. And as I've continued in my career, I do a lot of coaching, a lot of facilitation, but I also do a lot of travel. And in the last 17 years, have been able to combine the two, both leadership and travel, into one passion, where I photograph places I've been and share that with the people that I lead or I help teach and coach.
Definitely. And Miss Traycee, let's talk about your discover my passion for leadership and travel. Can you tell us about this stair of what? Stair to heaven?
Oh, I
You're
would love
ready to
to.
take.
That's
Yes.
the fun thing is that I chose not to include a detailed book on where these locations are, and I've been able to have a lot of fun traveling virtually or doing hikes outdoors with some of my clients, and we talk about these cards, about what they say, which is me as the oracle, and also where they are. So this stairway is actually in Hawaii on the island of Oahu. It is actually inside the Diamond Head volcano. And it is one of the oldest stairways there on the island, which leads, it's the very last part of the hike, which is about a 2-hour hike, which starts at the bottom of the center of the volcano, which is obviously not active. And you climb out of these stairs, and they're so steep that you almost are grabbing the second stair with your hands. So it takes a lot of energy, and that's why, as the oracle message, I wrote that you're ready to take it on and succeed with enthusiasm. You got this. And it's very exciting. And they have since created an additional way up that kind of takes you all around the outside of the volcano to get up there. So only the brave take this stairway.
Only the brave. And Miss Traycee, if you compare this amazing photo of yours to leadership, what
Mhm.
would you can say about it?
Yeah, I would say that it takes courage a lot of times to lead others and also to trust yourself. But when you're ready and you have the energy and you have the drive and you have the passion to take on whatever's in front of you, you just do it. I always prefer to take the direct route, which is
Direct, yes.
sometimes more challenging. It feels like it takes more energy. It's a lot. It takes a lot more out of you, but I feel like it's the best way to go. I don't prefer to go the long way around. I think just to be direct with people that you're leading, or be direct with people in your personal life and just go to it. Yeah.
Definitely. Go for it. Discovery and connection. Our next photo of yours.
Yeah. So when we talk about the journey of leadership, discovery, and connection, it was about 16 years ago, probably closer to 17 years ago, when I first saw this first path. I was actually up in Northern California at in San Francisco at the Science Center. And in the exterior, there's some rose gardens and some pathways. And I just was struck at this one pathway because it had two options of directions to go in. And at that very moment, I realized that's very similar to how life is. And I've never forgotten that. So over the years, the places I've traveled to, within the United States and also internationally, I've always been fascinated at pathways. And originally I had planned on developing a coffee table book with some inspirational poems or sayings or affirmations. And, over the last year or two, I decided that it wanted to be an oracle deck. And as my travels have picked up quite a bit over the last years, traveling to places like the Philippines and the Maldives, Fiji, Spain, some pretty cool places. I've paid a lot more attention. So I've taken thousands of pictures of different pathways. And this one here happens to be in Southern California in Orange County. It's a trail called Deer Canyon, and it's close to where I used to live in Southern California. And this particular day after the rain, this tree had fallen and blocked the way that I would usually kind of fly through with my mountain bike. So some I've hiked, others I've mountain biked. I thought this was fascinating, and I named this photograph in this card, and I numbered them all too. So this one's number 6, blocked, and an obstacle is obviously barring the passage. But I knew that I would always find an alternative way through. The same can be said in leadership or business or trials and tribulations with family and friends. In this case, I actually leaned my bike down on the side and pulled it through, and I ducked and made it through and continued on my journey.
And congratulations for sharing us to the world, Miss Traycee. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom.
Oh, you're welcome.
What was the pivotal experience that first made you realize leadership and travel were interconnected passions for you?
Wow, the first time. Well, I believe the first time was the first story I shared in San Francisco. But I'd like to change your question a little bit and add the one of the most powerful times, which was actually not quite a year ago, which is one of the pictures you're looking at now. And that is number 61, Serene. That photograph was taken on the very last day that I hiked the Camino de Santiago in Spain. I started in Madrid last October 1st, and after a couple of days, took a train all the way to Sarria, which is where I started my hike with 3 other women that I had never met actually until we got to Madrid. So it's a journey of a pilgrimage. It's a time to really experience a lot of thoughts about your life, kind of where you've been and where you're going. It is a journey of a pilgrimage that has been walked for thousands of years. Some people do ride horseback or bike it, but most people walk it. And kings and queens have traveled this path. You can start from France or Portugal or many places in between, and they all end at the same location, which is the Camino de Santiago, or the Compostela, which is where the Cathedral of St. James is, and where they believe that he is buried. So it's not just a religious site, but it's also spiritual, contemplative, all of that. But this, again, back to this picture, there's thousands of trees that you could tell were hundreds, and if not, older. They were very tall and they were perfectly aligned. And I thought there was this just very direct path that went through these trees, and it caused me to take that photograph. There's some other photographs I took that are not in the deck, but there were two black stallions that were walking through that grove of trees, and they were really quite lovely, and I ended up interacting with them towards the end of my walk that day, but it was really lovely.
How about Miss Traycee, the 36 photo, inspirational?
Yeah. So I was really kind of struck by this picture. It has this unique to me historical pathway, which was all metal, surrounded by this beautiful foliage. And this photograph happened to be taken at the Royal Botanical Gardens in Madrid, Spain. And it was very inspirational to me. I felt like this was telling me that there was history and beauty and also quiet space to contemplate and reflect. I happened to be in this location, which was kind of a U-shape garden, and it was very quiet. There were fountains at the end, and I was by myself during that time I took the photographs. And it really helped me connect to my inner source and to my spirit. So this was a really special photograph for me as well.
Inspirational indeed. How does traveling to new places shape or refine your approach to leadership back home?
Oh my goodness. It inspires me every day. And I could go, gosh, just to so many places I've traveled, and I guess because my most recent international trip again was Spain. I remember right before the trees and the stallions I spoke about a few minutes ago. There was this location because we were getting to the end of the Camino, and some people take 5 weeks, 2 months, depending on what everybody's pace are. You can, and where you start, you can take as much time as you want. But on the very last day, all of those trails, and I'm not sure how many there are. There could be dozens, depending on if you start in the south of Spain or you start in the upper eastern by France. They all lead to the same place, and the very last day, it's like suddenly, and I do have that picture in my deck as well, and it's called Community. And all of a sudden, people of different sizes and shapes and ages and speaking different languages and clearly from all over the world kind of convene in this one place, and I call it Community. And so to me, it has really impacted my leadership, both in regards to the way that I coach people and the way that I share about, people that need development with their leadership skills. I talk about community and how important that connection is, and how it's important it is to be respectful of people's differences, whether they speak a different language or they're from a different country or they just have a different point of view, that at the end of the day, we're all humans. And that connection is crucial to us succeeding together. Respect and connect. That's what I say.
Respect and connect for sure. Miss Traycee, as a leadership expert, author, and certified executive coach, what are your short term and long term goals?
Oh, well, my short-term goal is to continue speaking and doing more keynotes. I have found that at this last part of my career, hoping to retire maybe in another 5 years, as I'm celebrating 60 years of life coming up in the next 60 days. So I'm doing a lot more keynote speaking and talking about my experiences, both in leadership and I have hundreds of stories about, things that have changed positively with people I lead. But I've also changed positively by having these experiences of travel around the world, because I can get more insight and deeper insight by meeting people with different cultures, that eat different food and experience life differently. So it helps me develop my skills and be a stronger leader and a stronger teacher. So I want to bring all of that back to speak more. I have another very exciting talk next week. I actually had a world premiere of a speaking video that was on YouTube last Monday. It's live on YouTube still, called The When Stories, WHEN, and it was also on stage, and I'm really enjoying that because I could reach a lot more people just about my philosophy about leadership and life. So that's my long
Indeed.
term. Yeah, I mean that's my short
Yes.
term. I'm sorry.
Good luck to your goals, Miss
Thank you.
Tracy, and looking forward for more success. And what will be your piece of advice for those people either want to be, well, a leadership expert, an author, or certified executive coach?
My advice, number one, is just follow your dreams. Follow your dreams. And if you're scared of what your dreams feel too big for you, um, you know, talk to somebody, get a coach. I would be, one of those people that would love to talk with you about that. I actually titled my talk, which actually may end up being a TED talk as well. But I titled it when courage is a choice, because I do believe that courage is a choice. So my advice is, lean in, tell somebody, a best friend, a coach, your boss, maybe family members, tell them what your goal is that's scaring you, and let them support you. As an executive coach, I support a lot of clients who have big goals, but they're kind of afraid or fearful of those goals. And I help them lean in and show them that nothing is too big for us to accomplish. Nothing's too far out there. So lean in, get a coach, just go for it. Go for it. I've done things that I never thought I'd do, and I continue to do that. So I'd love to help support you.
Go for it, people. Go for it and stop procrastinating. Share your talents to the world. And thank you for that advice, Miss Tracy. And can you please recommend a books that influence your journey, as well as the places that you will recommend?
Oh, gosh. Um, yeah, I would have to say, oh my goodness, where would I say? Um, there's a book called Edgewalkers by Dr. Judy Neal. And she talks about being an edge walker and being on the edge of cultures and on the edge of things in life, so that you can more easily connect and bridge yourself. And I think the more that I'm aware of the edge walkers and the edge walker community, and I actually since have become certified as an edge walker facilitator, it's shown me that I can walk on the edge of any culture and the edge of any world, so that I can help bridge people together. And so I would suggest that book. I would suggest looking into edge walkers. It really did influence my trip to Spain last year and to walking the Camino, because there was so much I knew about it, but there was so much more that I didn't know about that journey that would occur over the course of a month. And I just treasure it, and I'm looking forward to the next one. So, I would highly recommend the Philippines as well. I spent 16 days in the Philippines, going to different islands, both on foot and also by boat. The Maldives is another amazing place that's got 300 islands. I tend to like islands, I think, because there's such great groupings. And then Hawaii is my all-time favorite. I've spent literally hundreds of trips to Hawaii, and part of that was because I actually did live there for a while, and I managed a couple of hotels there, so I flew back and forth from the U.S. mainland to Hawaii over many, many years.
Well, thank you for that recommendations, Miss Tracy, and hoping our viewers or listeners will experience the beauty. And if you could design the perfect trip, especially to develop leadership skills, what would it look like?
I think it would be just picking a place I want to go to. Like Italy is on my list, one of many, but I would just pick it, find my first night place to stay, book a trip, air flight, and then just go. Pack light so that if I needed anything, I could buy it when I'm there. But just keep myself open to the outcomes, open to the schedule, open to the itinerary, and where I would be staying each night, and just explore. And that would be my best suggestion, and that would be my dream trip for sure.
Explore the world, people. Explore the world because life is too short. And Miss Tracy, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people, because my abstract essay is already in 5th season, abstract poetry in 2nd season, and my book 101 review in 5th season too, comedy 101 in 2nd season, and my food 101 in 5th season as well. Geography 101 in its 4th season, and my baby podcast Law 101 and Mental Health 101. Love Letters in 4th season, and Movie 101 Review and Music 101 in its 4th season, and Science 101 and Sex 101 in its 1st season. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Miss Tracy, if you had to summarize what leadership means to you through the lens of your travels, and what world or what word would you choose and why?
Ooh, a word.
Yes.
My word would be kindness. And kindness is what I find when I travel all over the world. It's the beauty of other human beings in other cultures with other languages. There's a kindness that transmutes throughout, and that is also what I teach in leadership.
Definitely. Miss Tracy, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. So can you please invite our listeners to support your book, your advocacy, or any projects that you're doing right now?
Absolutely. Well, our listeners who support you as well, and I'm so excited about all your podcasts. My listeners can pop over and see me, my book, my Oracle deck, my coaching, my philosophy, my speaking, everything at one website, which is called beuleadership.com. BEYOU leadership.com.
Yes, people, let's support Miss Traycee Mayer, because if you support her, for sure, more and more empowering books to come, more and more empowering business to come, or, of course, more empowering advocacy to come. So, Miss Traycee, thank you so much for your time.
Oh, thank you, Daniel. I love everything that you do, and I'd love to continue supporting you too.
Thank you so much. More to come, people. See you soon.
Thank you.